Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another trading session. Let me just cut the music off. Yeah. Well, as I was saying, welcome back to another trading session. It is Monday today. So we are in the middle of June already. It's the 16th today. So yeah, Monday, it's a no news Monday. So whenever you have a no news Monday, just keep that in mind that you may face low probability conditions. You may be right about the movement that the market will do and the direction of the market, but sometimes it is hard to get into something because it can be some type of a high resistance or something like that. So yeah, keep that in mind whenever you have a no news Monday. Keep that in mind that you will probably face a hard price action during the New York AM session. So let's take a look. Let's take a look about what happened since the open, the midnight open, and eventually since 9:30 open. It's opening already, but I'm giving it a few minutes. I'm not rushing into anything today, honestly. So yeah, so not yesterday, the last minutes of Friday's action was some kind of a dump. Price really came and opened lower, formed another N walk here below. Then on Asia, as usual, it really consolidated, and London just pushed it to the upside above midnight open, and really touching this older N walk here. We have some buy side liquidity here that I would like to see purged. If you look into this this open, it can eventually act as a manipulation to the downside, since we have some kind of a consolidation right here on the late stages of Friday's price action. So this could eventually be our manipulation to the downside, and then we are getting all this liquidity that you see here on the buy side. If you project your projection here, your fib, you can eventually see that there are some confluences here, especially in between -1 and -2 standard deviation. And yeah, price is respecting bullish PD arrays right now. If you look into the 1 hour, you can see that price really is respecting bullish PD arrays. So we have this one right here. Price came back, touched the order block, and reacted to the upside. So I think, and I guess, bias for today is bullish. I don't know if we will have the opportunity to get into something, but I'm always my bias tends to be kind of a flexible bias. So if I see Friday's lunch highs taken and some kind of a displacement to the downside, disrespecting bullish PD arrays, yeah, then I might eventually question about my bias and eventually seek for some lows here that are not purged, since everybody is making money since Asia, and usually that's not typical on a market. It must gather some liquidity, it must manipulate, and since Asia, there's no manipulation to the downside. So the only manipulation to the downside that we have here is as soon as we close London. But so far, it's been a up only trend. And yeah, the main question here, and The main thing that I would like to see is price eventually getting support around the end walk or the upper band of the end walk, and then continue to the upside, or eventually gave up from the end walk and starts to retrace back down. Yeah, I'm just looking for these two possible these two. I'm sorry. I'm just working here on the notes. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm just waiting for these two possible scenarios to get into play, and yeah, eventually some of them might actually be right, but it can eventually happen that since we don't have any type of news today, price can eventually start some accumulation as well. So right now, what I'm looking here, what I'm seeing here, just let me grab. So we have some type of a accumulation prior to the opening. As soon as we opened, or it was some minutes before, price manipulated to the downside here and is now expanding to the upside. So first of all, we got some kind of a distribution. So we got some kind of an accumulation some minutes prior to the open. Some minutes prior to the open too, the market just dumped here a little bit, and then we got some kind of a distribution to the upside. And now I'm interested, I mean, to see if this distribution is not eventually a manipulation, I mean, or if we really will continue higher. Well, that's what I'm looking for, and that's what I'm eventually expecting from price. So it would be cool if we continue higher here, but we already took this buy side liquidity here. So yeah, I will give it some time. I will probably wait for 950 to 1010 macro as well, just to have a better idea about what price really wants to do. Just let me close the window. I guess you two are hearing some type of construction noise, and that annoys me. So yeah, accumulation, manipulation so far, distribution to the upside. So the first presented fair value gap is holding for now. Price came above 8:30 open, and we might eventually take Friday's lunch highs. And above the Friday's lunch highs, we have as well buy side liquidity as the 15 minutes. If you look into the 15 minutes, the 15 minutes. Is it the 15 minutes? Just let me check here. Yeah, if you look into the 15 minutes, you can see on the 12th of June, you can see all those relative equal highs here, which are represented here as relative equal highs on buy side liquidity. So yeah, let's wait a bit more and see if price really wants to continue and reach for higher targets, or if it's just a manipulation to the downside to keep us to the downside. But I'm not that convinced about a bearish bias for today's action. but I'm quite flexible um, to see if we will maintain this run here, because we are running since Asia, and yeah, usually it needs to be runs like this need to be purged. So I'm just waiting to see what it will really wants to, what price really wants to do. Well, and price is retesting the upper band here on of the N walk. We are clearly still with bullish price action. So nothing to look for shorts still. In order to in order to think about shorts, we should start to the level lower, disrespect 830 open, disrespect the first presented fair value gap as well. So yeah, we need to see something bearish happening. So I will mark the 930 open as well. Price really above all the opens. So I can consider buy price being in a premium right now. If you look into NQ and ES on the 15, I was just watching it, and you can already see some type of an SMT on the 15. If price really stays here and starts to deliver lower, we might have a SMT with NQ on the 4 hour. It's the same. So NQ a bit stronger and trying to maintain this bullish, eventually this bullish order flow. But yeah, I'm expecting something to happen here. So I would rather wait for something to happen than to speculate that it will do this or do that, because we as traders don't have any type of crystal ball to know what exactly will happen. The market will give us clues. It will give us some clues, but yeah, in some type of price action, it's kind of hard to know what exactly will happen. Yeah, in this case, imagine NQ already took the 15-minute highs, um, the 4-hour minute highs, and yeah, ES. The most logical thing is to take those highs as well, but sometimes it can happen that ES or NQ, yeah, they don't have the same strength, and yeah, some type of an SMT can form, and as soon as you have a confirmed SMT, oh boy, you don't want to be on the wrong side of that market, because it will hurt you if you don't be cautious enough, and if you don't wait for something to happen. So yeah, price kind of stopped. It gave us some type of a expansion to the upside as soon as we opened. It reached the top of the NWOG. It kind of rejected the midpoint of the NWOG. I would like to see Friday's lunch high being taken. I really would like to. And then eventually expect something lower. Because at this point, doing longs, yeah, the market can eventually keep grinding higher and creeping higher. Yeah. And in my main bias is bullish, but will I have the opportunity to get into something clear, which will give me a good risk to reward ratio? Well, I'm not sure about it, honestly. So I'm keeping my expectation low. My expectations are kind of low for today's action. But yeah, we can have one of those days that it's a one-sided market, and you just have to buy every fair value gap, every bullish fair value gap, or bullish order flow, or bullish order block that is formed. But I usually don't like those types of markets because I'm not comfortable just having one PD array or two PD arrays above my or below my stop. Yeah, I tend to use things that are way clearer when you have some type of a manipulation or stop hunt or something like that. Clear, not just this action here. Yeah, this is kind of, if you look into the 15-second, it kind of eventually, just let me grab the 15-second here. Yeah, as you can see, it's clear action for the 15-second, but your target is these highs here. So yeah, right now, price is still grinding to the upside. We are expecting buy sell liquidity as relative equal highs. But I'm keeping some my mind to be prepared to see some lower displacement and eventually a reversal, trying to go for London lows, eventually Asia lows as well. So yeah. Let me just check here the 1 hour. Yeah, we are inside the upper fair value gap. This is a big one, but yeah, we are relative near the top of it. We don't have anything here. We just have the rejection block. Yeah, it's still kind of tough. Nothing clear to me so far. Nice reaction here. So buy side liquidity. Displacement to the upside. Taking out the highs on the 15 minutes. Very nice. So now I would like to see this displacement to hold and expect a continuation to buy side liquidity as these relative equal highs, as you can find on the 15-minute chart if you look into it. But let me check where price really is. So far, in the first minutes of the stream, I explained to you the Fibonacci trace. So this one is according to our bias. So price is projected to the upside, and we have 1.5 standard deviation right here. So price is trying to get above -1 standard deviation here. And I really would like to see it hold. But these cases can be one of those where price just forms a fair value gap right outside the NWALK. Everybody thinks that this is a breakout, and yeah, the bullish fair value gap gets inverted and we seek lower. So I will give it some time. But so far, I'm liking this action for the bull side, the bullish side. So let's see if this is a real breakout or if we will get trapped here, because a lot of long players can be eventually trapped here as well, since we are pushing in one direction since the open. We still have some lows here, so the liquidity since the open is still intact. Yeah, so far respecting the bullish plan. So this was the first plan that we projected. This should be the next target for ES if these bullish PD arrays got respected. So accumulation here, manipulation to the downside, then we reacted right away in a V shape, consolidated a bit more during Asia, pushed higher. So the first stage, consolidation, and this can eventually be the second stage of distribution to the upside. Yeah, price really pushing to the upside here. This was quite a quick run here. Nice to see. And despite not participating, on the move, I'm still content with it because this was a very nice read from price action. I was expecting buy side liquidity since the beginning, so yeah. And as you can see, I marked here since the beginning of the stream. I identified the accumulation, manipulation, and now we are having the distribution to the upside. Yeah, these initial conditions, I really don't like them, and I would like to see some lower retracement as well. It didn't happen. So yeah, right now I will just observe and monitorize price action just to see if it's following bullish order flow or not. This last leg, you can eventually draw another projection. So as you can see here, yeah, we are respecting the projection almost to the tick. So the first big resistance is -1. So price stayed here for a while, then reached for -1.5, then another push to the upside, reaching for -2.5 standard deviation. We will hit -4 here on the upside. And if we look where this is, yeah, these highs here. But I guess we will go a little bit further. We will eventually reach for relative equal highs. So yeah, nice play here, right at the open. Everybody's making money right now, so everybody's smiling. Uh, those guys who bought without seeing anything and without even taking projections or whatever, they are all smiling. But yeah, this was a quite a fast run to the upside. Honestly, kind of liked it. So now, I would like to see it hold eventually, or eventually take buy side liquidity as these relative equal highs and start delivering lower. But yeah, I don't think it will happen since we are in the second stage of distribution to the upside. So as soon as we hit the top, we might get some type of consolidation, and not that retrace to the downside. But yeah, very clean price action read here, honestly. I was eventually giving the market a chance here to invert this PD array. This could eventually happen here. The inversion of this PD array and starting to fall lower. But yeah, it didn't happen. And it really touched the fair value gap just once. And as soon as it touched it, um, moved higher. So there was no time to enter here. And this is the only entry that you have for this movement. You can eventually If you are a bit more aggressive and you don't mind to spend some time here, because usually the first minutes of the open are some kind of a zigzag, and if you really entered here, this was the best entry possible here. But yeah, this is a good movement here, honestly. And look where price just stopped, right at -4. Well, whenever price reach -4, it means that your position should be 95% out. Yeah, you can eventually leave a runner if it wants, and if it decides to run to the upside without limits. But at this point, if you are longing somewhere, this should be the best low hanging fruit that you have. So keep in mind that. And yeah, it usually retraces back down to -2.5 if we are very bullish, but it can eventually retrace a little bit lower, -1.5, eventually -1, and then continue to the upside. But it will be some type of a, if that happens, it will be some type of a high resistance going lower. So I'm not interested in these types of moves as well. And another high here. Yeah, this was really a clean move. Very happy to observe this happening. But yeah, like I was saying in the first minutes of the stream, I entered here with low expectations because this is a no news Monday, and new news Monday are always tricky. If you look into price action for some time, you will know that for sure. Um, because it can be a very enticing market for a a direction, but it can really trick you very well. So I was approaching the market with very low expectations for this Monday. Yeah, I was watching here the price action, and it was really a nice trap here for short sellers, because we kind of rejected the end wall here, the midpoint, and then yeah, it kind of simulated a downfall, and a lot of people just try to get into the market in advance, and yeah, as soon as it hit 9:30, price just shot to the upside, and no mercy to the upside, honestly. Yeah, so far a one-sided move, no manipulation, no nothing, so kind of hard to interact, because you will never know where you should put your stop loss, right? Imagine that you would enter here. Yeah, you can eventually expect for price to hold, since we are in such a clean price action. but it is perfectly normal for price to eventually retrace back down to the order block or something like that. So giving that permission to price, it would be a very big stop loss. In this case here, imagine taking this fair value gap here. Yeah, the risk to reward ratio is not that enticing, honestly, because stretching it out, it gives you around 2.69. And yeah, if you want to take some partials, this will considerably drop. And you might eventually not even take a full R if you take some partials here. So yeah, you have to have that in mind, always on your mind, in your mind, I mean, because that will determine if it is um, it will determine really if it is worth it to enter a trade or not. Because if you only look at the movement and do not um, look at your risk, yeah, sometimes things like that. I know people that, oh, okay, this is a fair value gap. I will buy here, and then eventually, and where should I put my stop? Oops, yeah. Oh, I can eventually try this one. But if we wick outside of our value gap, boom, there goes the stop, right? So always keep that in mind. But yeah, so far we have a clear run to the upside since the open. So no retraces nor no nothing. I'm kind of curious to see what price will do as soon as we hit these highs here, these relative equal highs, because it can eventually still go to the upside and grind and even higher. If that happens, I will just let it run because I don't want to chase a running train, honestly. I don't like to chase running trains. Yeah, price is just doing its own thing right now. But yeah, the macro was on spot, honestly. It just placed down the macro inside the macro, came down, displaced once again to the upside. So yeah, it was a nice run to the upside, honestly. So we are reaching the end of the macro. So usually when price is very clean, it usually tends to move from macro to macro. But yeah, it can it can happen. But there are some times that the price doesn't do it. So you should keep that in mind as well. We can eventually expect price to continue run higher, but at this point, if it really continues, there's nothing I can do honestly because I missed the manipulation move here. Um, so there's no point buying really near buy side liquidity or even relative equal highs. We have we are already at minus 1.5 on a larger time frame here, as you can see. Um, but yeah, buying here on the second stage of the distribution, yeah, that's not my cup of tea, honestly. Yeah, price reaching once again to the upside here. Oh well. Price just one-sided since the open. And at this point, I guess we will probably end the stream without taking any position because I don't believe that I will have any type of opportunity. I'm kind of curious to see how price will react as soon as we hit buy side liquidity here. Just let me check the 2 minutes and the 3 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, this was a quick move here, honestly. If you missed this one, yeah, there's no chance. It could eventually be some type of entry here, but this one, yeah, this one would be kind of aggressive. This one would be ideal, I guess. This is some type of a continuation breaker. So price came to the upside, took out these lows, and then moved to the upside once again. This can eventually be some type of a continuation breaker where price tends to retest into this zone. But yeah, so far price is respecting bullish PD arrays. It's just moving to the upside. So if you're not long already, I should not tell you to go long now because honestly, it's taking some time here. We have buy side liquidity right above us, so this can end up in something like this. Price starting to do something like this. It can eventually do that, or it can eventually, I don't know, just be here for a while, take out these lows, grind higher, and take out. Yeah, this can eventually happen as well, or price can eventually do some type of action like this. Yeah, there we go. Reaching for buy side liquidity here. So the draws that we had here, they are reached. We still have some more. We still have previous week high. Look how we reached here, minus 1.5 standard deviation. So the question is now, will price continue to the upside, or will we start some kind of a retrace to the downside? Because that's what I curious to see, since we already hit minus 1.5 standard deviation. Here we have another continuation breaker where you have the low, the high, I mean, the low, and then we retrace down, but end up breaking these highs as well, and then retrace back into the continuation breaker and boom to the upside. But yeah, so far this was a 20 handle pip move, 20 handle range move. Not that bad. And we are right above buy side liquidity as these relative equal highs as well. So yeah, nice interpretation of the bias. It was top notch, I would say, because we identified the accumulation. Here we had the manipulation. As soon as we opened at 9:30, we boom to the upside, took out these highs, start to range a bit, formed some type of a breaker, price retested it, and boom to the upside. So this was the only opportunity, honestly, here or eventually here. I would not recommend you to go long anywhere here, despite price can eventually keep creeping higher and higher because we have some more draws right at the top. But yeah, I would tell you to be wise and not try to go for all-time highs. I mean, we are a bit far away from all-time highs, but we are in its direction. So if you look into the 1 hour candle, we already took buy side liquidity as well from the previous Friday's high. So we are entering Thursday's high. And then we have some type of a wick, which can be traded into 50% on the on its tail. So it would be about 10 handles more for ES to hit the 50% of the wick from last was Wednesday 11th. Yeah, it was Wednesday. So then we can eventually retrace down lower, but yeah, now we have to retrace down lower in a clean way. We have to disrespect all these bullish PD arrays in a fast pace. Otherwise, it will be some type of a high resistance. So another fair value gap here. Yeah, this is clearly um, bullish order flow. As you can see, bullish PD arrays are traded into, but not even once it was traded into the lower 50% band. We got a wick here, not that impressive, honestly. But yeah, this was a region where I want to see what price really wants to do. But looking at the movement, it can eventually stretch because it started really at 950 to 1010, and it's still moving to the upside, and it can eventually go until 1050 to 1110. So this move to the upside can eventually be one of those moves that are from macro to macro. But I will let price develop some price action here just to see what it really wants to do, honestly. Because at this point, yeah, we can be a one-sided market in a buy program where every fair value gap is a buy opportunity, or we can eventually start some type of a retrace since buy side, the nearest buy side liquidity is already taken. We still have previous week's high, but it can be left for later. So yeah, that's why I'm just observing right now. Price still moving to the upside here. As you can see, even this fair value gap here is being respected right now. Was my dog sneezing? We'll see if this move will stretch to 1050. It usually does when the market is kind of clean. It usually does a one-sided move from 950 to 1050. But since we already took buy-side liquidity, the major points of buy-side liquidity, we can be surprised with some type of a retrace to the downside. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed the entry here because I saw that price was taking Friday's lunch highs, and it could eventually try to retrace a little bit lower because we still had all these lows to take. But just let me look at NQ. Yeah, they are still kind of here on NQ as well. Yeah, but we had these lows here, then price retraced to the upside, took out Friday's lunch highs. And yeah, since we all are already in a premium, yeah, I was kind of, I missed the opportunity, honestly, because I was not that concentrated on whatever the market was doing. But yeah, I didn't expect it was this clean. It would be this clean. And this was the only opportunity that I can responsively be in, because all these here right next to buy side liquidity, nah. Yeah, and we are approaching, we have 10 minutes 20 minutes before 10:50 as well. Nah, you won't see me taking a long here, honestly. But the initial bias was kind of correct. We had the accumulation right before the 9:30 open, the manipulation a little bit before 9:30 open as well. And then we had a big displacement as soon as 9:30 open hits. And yeah, this was for me, this was the best chance to get in, and the last one, honestly. You could eventually, if you were very certain about your plan, you could eventually took a long here. But yeah, this was kind of a blindsided position here, because yeah, we were inside an NWOG. We were retesting the upper band of the NWOG once again, but yeah, it could have worked, honestly. But at least I was spotless on the read. Yeah, and I'm quite content with the read that I made from the market. It's still pushing to the upside here. So we have previous week's high as the next draw liquidity. We are above -4 standard deviation, projecting from the opening, the manipulation pre-opening. And here, a larger projection here that I mentioned in the first minutes of the stream. Yeah, we have a manipulation to the downside here, consolidation, and the distribution to the upside. So this distribution in normal conditions should eventually hold until -2 or eventually -2.5 standard deviation. I'm not sure about if it will happen today or not. But it can, since it's Monday. It really can, showing us some big upside in the first day of the week. But if we will go there, as I'm telling you, I will not engage in longs, because I think that we are too much in a premium right now to get into anything long, honestly. I need to see some manipulation to the downside just to get into longs. Kind of missed my opportunity to get in, and it is what it is. I will not chase it. I will not put myself in front of a running train. I will wait for the next train. Right? I think that's the the smartest thing to do, honestly, because you can never know whenever the market the train will break or will accelerate even more, uh, unless you have a clear stop, unless you have something that says to you that the train will stop for some minutes. Then you will eventually consider a entry, according to the movement of what price is doing. Otherwise, I will not try to chase anything. I guess that's one of those hard things, for a trader to learn, is not chasing price. And chasing price is one of those things that, yeah, it seems like you are programmed for doing that, and to not do it, it seems like counterintuitive, you know. It seems like you are doing something wrong whenever you're not engaging with a market that is one-sided, and yeah, you just have to catch the wave. Yeah, but the wave sometimes, and it happened to me too many times already, where I've been chasing price and price just reverted on me. Um, so yeah, I'm fine on accepting that I missed my long opportunity here, despite being bullish today. But yeah, I guess that's a one day on a trader's journey, on a trader's career. So it will be probably one trade out of thousands. So it makes no sense for me to try to punish myself. And we are approaching 1050 here. So this is a start of a retrace, probably. Major buy side liquidity points are taken here. I'm sorry, I was talking here to another trader. Yeah, we kind of talk with each other sometimes, and he was telling me that Iran asked Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Oman to ask Trump to press Israel to agree to an immediate ceasefire. In return, Iran to offer flexibility in nuclear negotiations with the US. Yeah, it seems like these can eventually be nice news and bullish news for indices, honestly. Because if Iran just stop ceasefires and ceasefire with Israel, it can be very positive for the United States. So the bullish trend should eventually continue. Um, but yeah, it can be on a long term and not on a short basis term. So yeah, price coming from macro to macro, we are indeed approaching 1050. So I guess we will have some type of a retrace. I'm not sure if it will be a clean retrace or not, since we have a lot of bullish PD arrays. It can eventually be a slow grind to the downside on a higher resistance. So this is the first fair value gap here that was really holding anything, and it's starting to break down. Notice that we had an inversion here. This is an inverted. So where is it? Fair value gap here. And yeah, we are right at 1.5. Let me just check NQ to see where it is. Micro NQ on the projection. Just a quick projection here just to see what it can still really do with ES. So yeah, it can be like this, just to make it quick to see. Whoa, yeah, we are way above 1.5 on NQ, and price can really retrace here on NQ as well. Yeah. So minus 2.5 here. Okay. So price stopped right in between 2 and minus 2.5 here on NQ. It seems like we still have some room to go higher, especially on ES. If you look into ES, the same projection. We just have we are just above 1.5. We are not in these regions where NQ is. See, price will now start to do crazy things. So we have to have in mind that the next minutes can be a hard read for price. Price really came here. This fair value gap is still holding. Yeah, looking at NQ, we have some type of a, let me just check here. Yeah, it forms some type of an SMT here on the 1 minute as well with NQ. That's why we are moving to the upside. Yeah, another SMT here. I was kind of distracted here. So SMT, SMT as well within Q. Let me just check the open. But I don't think we had an SMT at the open. Yeah, maybe it is at these lows here. These last 3 lows. NQ was way heavier. It came down here. It took out the low, not this one. So I might not consider this an SMT here. But we have some here. We have another one here. So let's see how far we can still go to the upside. At this point, I'm just observing, honestly. I would only interact if we have something clear. Probably to the downside at this point, since we already took the major buy side liquidity points, but so far nothing to the downside. So we just wait. We just wait and see what can eventually happen. So yeah, guys. So far I'm trading here live, as you can see, just reading tape, reading at the moment, but it is what it is. For those watching me on YouTube and eventually on Twitch as well, yeah, just give it a like. If you're not following me already, you can do it as well. It will help gathering some more people into the stream, and that way it would be nice to learn from everybody else and to have some type of a conversation as well, because sometimes trading can be quite lonely, you know. There's another SMT here. I'm sorry. So at this point, ES and NQ starts to be some kind of different in what we know about their behavior. So we have to be attentive, and we have to keep that in mind as well. So as I was saying, yeah, if you drop your like, it will help a lot. If you follow me as well, if you interact with me in the chat, that will help a lot as well. I'm here to answer to your questions as well. If you want to interact with me, I'm kind of welcome it. Because it can be sometimes it can be quite a monotone stream, because yeah, trading is, as you can see, there are no hypes here. So it can be quite boring to say. So yeah, if you want to ask me for anything, or yeah, ask my opinion, or for me to explain something or some concept, or just do me personal questions, I will answer them as well. So yeah, you're welcome to it, to interact with me in the chat, and yeah, and to just chit chat. That's sometimes it is needed. So yeah, price mumbling around here. See, we are entering 1050 macros. So if you would have entered here somewhere, taking your long, at this point, you should have been closing your full position. It can eventually retrace a little bit harder, but it can eventually be a stop hunt as well. Um, but this is the point where you should, if you are profit right now in profit, you should just close your charts and go to lunch and do whatever you want to do. Because at this point, this can stay here for quite a while, and eventually you can continue higher, uh, but it is acceptable for price to just start to retrace and seek for more liquidity. Just watching here different time frames just to see how they are presenting themselves. But yes, so far a big SMT here. NQ made another high. ES was not willing to and was not able to do another high, but is still inside this range. It can be time distorting here a bit, trying to get more longs to get in, and at some point eventually fall to the downside. It can eventually happen, and I'm kind of expecting something like that to happen. On the other hand, it can um, still go to the upside. But whenever you have some type of a time distortion like this, where price just is trading inside of a box, usually, and this is usually, does not happen always, um, but usually you should be um, you should be very careful, because it usually does not continue, it reverses. So if you have a uptrend and then some time distortion, if you're expecting it to continue to the upside, well, that's what 99% of the population would say, oh, it will continue. But usually it does the opposite thing. So it usually goes for those stops that are placed right below these swing lows here, and will punish everybody who is making money in these late long setups. So keep that in mind, guys. Yeah, price just stopped inside this box, as you can see here. So right now, looking at other time frames, if we wanted to see price here below, it should be a quick run to the downside. It should be some type of a manipulative uh, move to the downside. So it should be eventually quick. If we wanted to continue higher, it can eventually trade a little bit lower, taking out sell side liquidity. Sell side liquidity, which is here on the first wick here. It can eventually come for this fair value gap here, the big one on the 15-minute. But if price really stays bullish, this can eventually be considered a open fair value gap where price will not reach into it until we hit higher prices. So we will see. So 1050, we are inside a macro. So something should, in normal conditions, something should happen here. Otherwise, we will continue to be inside this box. So at this point, we have another SMT here with NQ. NQ is cleaning lower sell side, while ES is still holding here. I don't think this SMT will stay for long, so yeah. So we got another PD array here that was kind of inverted and respected, as you can see here. If I would take a measure of projection here, yeah, the first presented fair value gap should be a nice clean here and nice and clean target. It's kind of funny how the last portion of the projection is right at the first presented fair value gap and the midpoint of the end walk, which is this shaded area here. But honestly, I don't really know if I'm interested in some type of a fall to the downside in these types of conditions where you have 3 candles to the upside, 1 to the downside, 3 candles to the upside, 1 to the downside. Yeah, this is quite annoying because whenever you are in some type of position, you want that position to deliver quite fast and not be in these types of retracements. It's always annoying. Let me just check the whole leg here. Where are the OT levels and where is equilibrium? So equilibrium should be around here. And looking at the 687, so 687 I'm just looking at it on the higher time frames. Yeah, it should be acceptable. I mean, let me just check the 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, if price really wants to, it is a quite acceptable for price to come here. And it can eventually dig a little bit lower, but that would be permissible. Yeah, but for that to happen, I need to see something way cleaner. This is not giving me anything here. It's just a range inside of a box. Yeah, guys, if you're still there, just drop the like button. Honestly, just to see if I'm talking to anybody. Honestly, just give me that like. Um, yeah, I don't mind pushing the like button because it will help with engagement and all of those algorithmic things that YouTube um does. Um, and ultimately, it will gather some more people here around the stream. That's what I would like to see, more people here around. So, as I was telling you, whenever price is inside of a box like this, it usually trades lower and not higher. So, expecting some type of a retracement to the downside, but not believing on it, honestly, as well, because I'm still bullish. So, that's why I would like to see what type of reaction will price do as soon as we close some of these candles. Yeah, right now this is kind of a suspicious job because um, ES is making a new low, but NQ is not. So NQ is right inside a box still. Yeah, this action is not convincing me at all because NQ is not able to get out of that box. It's reaching for a new high, honestly. Yeah, if I would take a short here, that would be something like this. I think this should be enough. And taking partials around the way, probably at these lows. And taking out the full position at minus 2.5 standard deviation here, which is where equilibrium of this up leg is, I think. Just let me grab this once again. Yeah, it's at minus 2 standard deviation. And if I would play a short position here, this is what I would like to see. But yeah, it's not convincing me because NQ is doing, yeah, it's heading to the upside and ES is falling here. So eventually ES can drag NQ to the downside. But yeah, I'm not sure about it. And since we have this fair value gap here as well, this can eventually act as a trampoline to the upside. So I'm willing to wait and see if it will give us some more hints or if this is just a manipulation here and we have the consolidation, manipulation, and then distribution to the upside. So if price really comes back in with some kind of a displacement after taking these lows here, yeah, I would consider it some type of a manipulation. Yeah. See, this is why I was not convinced in this move to the downside. I'm still not convinced that we will head higher. But yeah, this action here, this reaction here was not what I was looking for. I was looking for another displacement to the downside. Yeah, it seems like price is now kind of stuck here. If NQ really decides to head lower, I guess we will see lower prices on ES. But yeah, at this point, one is pushing to the downside. This is what I can feel looking at NQ at ES. And in the meantime, NQ is really pushing to the upside. So whenever you have NQ and ES doing some type of different price action and acting differently according to each other, yeah, you can eventually expect low probability conditions, hard price action to read, and yeah, those are not the best opportunities and moments to get into a trade. You should wait for both indices to look similar and what price action is doing. So this could be my advice for the current price action. So yeah, let me just check for how long are we in here on the stream. Yeah, almost 2 hours on the stream. As I was saying, when price was around here, I told you guys that I was not expecting anything from price as soon as we hit buy side liquidity here. So yeah, it's really not doing anything. And I might end the stream soon. So now we have ES reacting and getting out of this um, fake breakout. This now can eventually be the accumulation. So accumulation here. This can be the manipulation to the downside. Let me just mark this one right here. And eventually we can expect a distribution to the upside. So the logic process is always the same. You just have to wait. And as soon as you hit something and as soon as you see something, you should act accordingly. But yeah, this can eventually take a long time here since indices are not clean at all. NQ almost made a new high, so NQ is trading way above ES now. So this is not the time window to open any type of position, honestly. Yeah, NQ is the stronger sister, with no doubt about it. While ES is trying to keep up. So this type of behavior, if I want to trade, yes, it can eventually not help, um, because we can eventually reach for these highs and price will stop or do some craziness. Um, so yeah, but this was some type of an opportunity. If you entered somewhere near the breaker, we can still have an opportunity to enter here. But since we are after 11, I will probably not engage with anything. But yeah, if I would take something like this. So the breaker here can eventually mark this candle. So I'm expecting a immediate rebalance, and your low hanging fruit, it should be here, honestly. So you can eventually aim for a bigger one, but yeah, I would not do that. So imagine that we would be tagged in here, okay? Here at the bottom of, yeah, that's good. So imagine that we entered here, and now this should be um, a running trade. So, but in the meantime, NQU already took these highs. So this SMT is still there. That's why I'm not trusting the market right now, because we can still go to the upside, but with an SMT on the top, mm, that's kind of suspicious. And we passed 11 already. So yeah, this is a low probability trade that I would not take. I'm just putting the draws in here and just to see how this could eventually end. Yeah, but this should not be a trade to get in. Yeah, so far, good position here. Nice move to the upside here. Yeah, see, this should be a quick run to the upside, just like NQ did, but DS is not strong enough to do it. So yeah, guys, I think the stream will end here. I don't think we will get anything in the next couple of minutes. Not liking how price is trading for the last 1 hour. So the last 1 hour was a barcode. But yeah, we really missed this action here right at the open. I guess the most intelligent and most accurate entry should be here. It really just gave us a touch, and then it is placed to the upside, giving us no chance to interact with further price action. Yeah, right now when price was here retesting -4 standard deviation, I told you guys that I would not engage with any type of longs since we were steps away from buy sell liquidity. And this can eventually be a trade continuation, but I think it's lacking a bit of fuel here. That's why I'm not interacting with it. Otherwise, I guess the continuation to the upside is kind of set right now. So, and if you look into ES and EQ, yeah, they had some type of a SMT on these lows right here. So yeah, it can be a continuation. I will not engage with that because as I was telling you, and as I told you before, I will not chase price when we are in a premium like this. I'm not very comfortable on taking longs so deep into a premium. It can work, but yeah, I'm not that convinced, honestly, because I think we need to gather some more sell side first before heading to the upside. And yeah, it is what it is. So I think tomorrow there will be another chance, there will be another opportunity. And yeah, looking at the 15-minute, I'm not liking how price is really doing what it's doing, honestly. um, it's an SMT on the 15-minute right now. Price is displacing to the downside on both indices. We have an SMT on the upper band. So I think that we will head lower for some action, some retrace action. I don't think this is a manipulation here. I think we will head lower, trying to retrace a bit. What time is it? 11:26. So it's kind of an odd time to present us with displacement. If this action would be inside of a time window of 11:50 to noon 10, yeah, this is what I would like to see inside of a macro, but not outside of a macro. So bearish fair value gap here. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky spot, honestly, because price is doing some harsh retracements to the upside as well. We are still with an SMT in between ES and NQ. we kind of rejected the 1.5 here and eventually looking for a retrace lower until the -1. That should be interesting to see. Just let me, this will take a long. So this level is 60.81. Yeah, more or less 60.81. So yeah, this is the major projection that I made before the open. You see there's no follow through on this movement. So this might be a manipulation lower, taking out these lows, price gathering some liquidity here, and eventually heading a bit higher. Bearish fair value gap being respected to take on its midpoint, but price is in between these two. Price really stopped at minus 0.5 standard deviation as well. Well, guys, I think that's it. I'm not here to watch dry paint. um, I will be back tomorrow. Probably there will be better conditions. Probably we will be a bit more um, concentrated on what's really happening. Because I think I missed this opportunity here. But yeah, everything is fine. I'm content about the read that I made. So yeah, I think it was a nice stream. And I hope to see you tomorrow. I will be here in between 9:15, 9:20, New York local time. Tomorrow will be Tuesday, and tomorrow we will have some high impact news. So keep that in mind, and yeah, don't do crazy stuff, especially pre news driver. So keep that in mind. Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being there. Comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want, but do anything. um, and yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow and hope to see you too as well. So have a nice afternoon, nice Monday afternoon. It's kind of sunny and very hot here in Portugal, so I think I will touch some grass. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Stay safe and yeah, bye guys.